ghost ever touches your bare skin, hold your breath. Do not open your mouth. Do not breathe in. Chike survived the midnight bus. He delivered every passenger. He obeyed every rule. But the very moment that freezing hand held his shoulder, he screamed. And that one scream changed everything forever. The grip on his shoulder was like a trap made of solid ice. The sharp, dirty nails dug deep into his flesh. The horrible voice whispered again into his ear, smelling like a rotten animal. Turn around. Look at me. Every single muscle in Chike's body was shaking. The temptation to look back was like a heavy weight pulling his head. But the image of his sick daughter Ada flashed in his mind. I reject you in the name of God. Chike screamed. He closed his eyes tight, lifted his foot high, and hit on the gas pedal with all his power. The massive black bus roared like a lion. It jerked forward violently. The sudden powerful movement threw the ghost off balance. Its icy hand slipped from Chike's shoulder. Chike immediately smashed his hand on the red button. The heavy metal doors slammed shut with a loud bang. He locked the ghost outside. Chike did not stop. He kept his foot on the gas pedal. He drove away from the giant iron gate of the cemetery like a madman. He did not care about the potholes. He did not care about the thick fog. He just drove. Tears of absolute terror poured down his face. After what felt like a lifetime, the dark trees disappeared. The fog started to clear. He did it. He actually did it. No rearview mirror, no looking back, no conversation with the dead. And that one hit on the accelerator saved his life. But my people, the night was not yet done with Chike. Chike saw the old bridge ahead. Standing perfectly still under the dead tree was the blind old man. The shiny black luxury car was waiting. Chike slammed the brakes. The bus stopped. He threw the doors open, jumped down the stairs, and fell to his knees on the dirty road, breathing heavily. He was completely soaked in his own sweat. The blind old man slowly walked towards him, tapping his walking stick. Even without eyes, he knew exactly where Chike was. A wicked, toothless smile appeared on the old man's face. You did not look, the old man whispered. His voice sounded surprised. You did not look. I did the job, Chike cried out, his voice shaking. I dropped them. Now give me the rest of my money. The old man reached into his dark suit. He pulled out another thick bundle of Cripp's new Naira notes. He dropped it into Chike's shaking hands. 500,000 Naira, the old man said. You are a very wise driver. Out of all the men who have driven the midnight bus, you are the only one who have ever made it back alive. Chike did not wait to hear another word. He grabbed the money, turned around and ran. He ran and ran until his chest felt like it was going to explode. He ran until the sun slowly started to rise up in the sky, chasing the darkness away. When Chike finally reached his compound, it was morning. The birds were singing. The world looked normal again. But as he entered into the yard, he heard a loud, angry voice. It was Mr. Uche, the wicked landlord, standing in front of Chike's door. Leave my wife alone, Chike shouted from the gate. The landlord turned around and laughed. Ah, the useless husband is back. Have you brought my money, or did you go out to beg for Gary? Chike walked to the landlord. He did not say a word. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a thick bundle of new 1,000 Naira notes and threw it directly on the landlord's chest. The money slapped the man's chest and fell to the ground. This is your rent, Chike said with a loud, proud voice. Take it and never insult my family again. The landlord's eyes widened in pure shock. He fell to his knees, quickly packing the money from the debts. The other neighbors were looking out of their windows, completely amazed. Chike lifted his wife from the ground. "Stop crying, Ngozi," he smiled. "Our suffering has ended." You see that? The same landlord, Chike just walked to him. No argument, no conversation, just threw the money at his chest. But the money from the midnight bus came with terms and conditions Chike did not read. That morning was a celebration. Chike went to a big pharmacy and bought the most expensive imported medicine for his daughter. He went to the market and bought a full bag of rice, fresh chicken, and cartons of milk. When he got home, Ngozi cooked a massive meal. They ate meat for the very first time in several months. Chike sat on his bed, smiling, and his wife smiling also. He felt like a king. He had defeated poverty. Yes, the night was scary, but he survived. The money was real. But as Chike went to the bathroom to wash his face, he took off his shirt. He looked into this mirror, and slowly, his smile vanished. Right there, on his right shoulder, was a mark. It was the exact shape of a large human hand. The skin was completely black, like it had been burned by fire, and it was freezing cold to touch. That ghost left its mark on Chike's body. And you know what that means in our culture. In Africa culture, when the dead marks you, they are not yet finished with you. Suddenly, the bright morning sun outside his window was covered by a dark cloud. The nightmare was not over, it just followed him home. If you think Chike made a mistake by taking that money, smash the like button right now so that we know that you are following the story. Night fell over the city of Lagos. The joy in Chike's house was quickly disappearing. Chike sat at the edge of the bed. Ada was lying under the blanket. The expensive medicine was sitting on the table. Chike opened the bottle and poured the thick pink syrup into a spoon. "Drink this, my angel," Chike said softly. "It will make your fever go away forever." Ada slowly opened her tired eyes. She opened her mouth and Chike gave her the medicine. Ngozi stood at the door, smiling, thanking God for the blessing of the money. But 10 seconds later, Ada's eyes suddenly snapped wide open. They rolled all the way to the back of her head, showing only the whites of her eyes. "Ada!" Ngozi screamed, running to the bed. Ada began to cough violently. Her tiny chest moved up and down. She opened her mouth and threw up. But what came out of her mouth was not the pink medicine. It was thick, black mud. It smelled exactly like wet dirt and rotten flowers from a graveyard. "Blood of Jesus!" Chike shouted, jumping back. "What is this?" Before Ngozi could answer, the single light bulb hanging from the ceiling flickered wildly. Bam! The bulb exploded into 100 pieces. The room was thrown into pitch black darkness. Instantly, the temperature in the tiny room dropped to zero. It was so cold that Chike could see his own breath in the air. The horrible, suffocating smell of the cemetery filled the room completely. It was so strong that Ngozi fell to her knees, choking and holding her throat. "Who is there?" Chike shouted into the dark, his voice shaking with pure terror. Slowly, in the corner of the room, a pale glowing light began to form. It was not the light of the moon, it was the sickly glow of the dead. Out of the shadows stepped a figure. It was the tall, pale man from the bus, the ghost with the sunken, empty black holes where his eyes should be. He was wearing the same white suit, but now It was covered in dry, brown grave dirt. He floated 1 inch above the floor. Ngozi let out a deafening scream and immediately fainted, hitting her head on the concrete floor. "Ngozi!" Chike cried out. He tried to run to his wife, but an invisible, heavy force slammed into his chest, pushing him hard against the wall. He was pinned. He could not move his leg. He could not move his arms. The tall ghost floated slowly across the room towards Chike. The air around the ghost was so cold that ice began to form on the walls of the bedroom. The ghost stopped right in front of Chike. When it spoke, the voice did not come from its mouth. The terrible, echoing voice spoke directly inside Chike's mind. "Did you really think it was that easy, Chike?" The ghost is. "Did you think the dead just give away money for free?" "I did the job," Chike cried, tears pouring down his face. "I drove the bus. I followed the rules. Leave my family alone." The ghost let out a slow, evil laugh that sounded like dry bones grinding together. "You broke the rule the moment you opened your mouth and screamed," the ghost said. "When I touched you, you breathed in the air of the cemetery. You took our money into your home. You failed your daughter the wealth of the grave. That money was not your salary, Chike. It was a price. You sold your soul to us." Chike's heart stopped. The realization hit him like a heavy truck. The blind old man was not a businessman. He was a demon marking a dark trade. That 1 million naira was a trap to buy a human soul. "You carried the dead," the ghost whispered, leaning its terrifying eyeless soul into Chike. "You are no longer a driver for the living. You belong to us now. You have been chosen to drive the midnight bus for all eternity." My people, the moment Chike brought the money back home and used it to buy medicine for Ada, the grave entered his home. "No! God forbid!" Chike shouted, struggling against the invisible wall holding him. "I will return the money. Take it all back." The ghost ignored him. It slowly turned its head and looked at the bed. Little Ada was still lying there, shivering, coughing up the black dirt. The ghost reached into its dirty white suit. It pulled out a white, pure wrapper, the exact clothes used to wrap dead bodies before they are put into a coffin. The ghost floated to the bed and gently placed the white wrapper next to Ada's head. "The grave is hungry tonight, Chike," the ghost commanded. Its voice was absolute and final. "I need a soul. Take off your shirt." "The grave is hungry tonight, Chike," the ghost commanded. His voice was absolute and final. "I need a soul. Take off your shirt. Tie this white wrapper around your waist and follow me to the cemetery right now. You will drive the bus forever." Chike cried uncontrollable. "Please, I beg you." The ghost raised one rotten black finger. "If you refuse to come with me now, I will wrap this white cloth around your daughter and I will take her instead. You have just 1 minute to choose." The ghost stopped moving. Total silence filled the room. The only sound that was loud was the fast beating of Chike's heart and the weak crying of his daughter Ada. Chike looked at the white cloth of death. He looked at his little daughter. The clock was ticking. 60 seconds, 50 seconds, 40 seconds. Ada is lying on the bed, shivering, and the ghost has given Chike just only one choice. Either he wraps the white burial cloth around his waist and follow them back to the cemetery to drive the midnight bus for all eternity, or he watches them tie that same white wrapper around his child, Ada. What will Chike do? Will he sacrifice his own life and follow the ghost to the graveyard forever? Or will he watch the demon take away his only child? My people, if you are in Chike's shoes, what would you have done? Series is coming and it is the final episode, and I promise you it's going to shock you. For my amazing subscribers that has been waiting for a very long time, I'm really sorry for keeping you waiting, but I am posting the final episode this week in the next 2 days. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you get notified when we post another story. And I remain your host, Tales by Adaeze. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much. I will see you in my next video. And don't forget to drop where you're watching this video from. I want to see how far this video is traveling. Thank you. Bye bye.